Hello and welcome to Cosmic Yoga. This is your Ceres / solar flare self-care cosmic yoga session. So originally the session was themed for Ceres, who I forgot to look up the pronunciation for. So Ceres is our goddess name, our dwarf planet name. That planet astrologically is retrograde as of, I believe, Tuesday of this week. If you're watching this the Thursday that this airs. And it is she is the goddess of motherhood, maternity, hearth, home. And so the planet also rules those things. And so that planet going retrograde is kind of an opportunity for us to kind of turn within and reparent ourselves, kind of like when Mercury goes retrograde and we slow down our communication and kind of reevaluate how that's working. Same thing happens with this in regards to our maternal home-based energy. So it's not a bad time to do a little home zhuzhing and to make your space feel like your own little healthy cocoon. And it also has been really intense cosmic weather due to solar flares. So if you're not familiar with solar flares, the sun scientifically, like I know that we like to separate astrology and astronomy a lot of times, but an actual thing that you can find NASA reporting on is that the sun does these solar flare periods where it's just kicking off excess, like the flares that you actually see in sort of like footage of the sun will be extended further from the sun than they normally are. And they know that that affects the electromagnetic field. So even if people aren't into astrology, we know that it affects our internet waves, radio wave, like anything technology wise that has to do with the electromagnetic field gets affected by these solar flares. So for instance, my internet company has been texting me this week telling me that there's been outages in the area and that they're trying to fix it. The power company ComEd was working on the power here because there's been stuff going on. So it does affect our physical world, even if you don't believe in the astrological aspect. But when you get into the energy of it, because we are obviously also affected by these electromagnetic fields, and especially if you're a sensitive person, it can really be kind of grating on the nerves. I experience the solar flares almost as if I were, as a person, a thread. It's as if you take that thread and you kind of like run your fingers back it several times and you start to get those little frays. That's the visual that I think of when I think of this energy, is that I'm just frazzled, and it can feel kind of like an exposed nerve. And so not only do we have our mother planet going retrograde for us to evaluate our self-care, but also we have even more reason to be sinking into self-care because you might be feeling a little more exposed. So some things that you might be experiencing with these solar flares: you might have some weird or disrupted sleep patterns. You might be feeling extra anxious, extra aggravated. I know that I've had a very short temper over the past like week and a half. You might even get physical symptoms like headaches or nausea. I was in bed all day yesterday for nausea, which is why that this event is actually taking place on a Friday rather than the normal Thursday. So it's a really good time to take care of yourself. And even now, I feel like I'm a little harsh on my throat. So this is going to be a really good class to settle back into the body and to take care of yourself. So we're going to keep it real simple. If you want to take a nap during it, that's okay by me. We're going to take it real slow. I want you to grab some props that are going to make you feel cozy. So as you can see, I'm in bed, and this is a sequence that you can do in bed should you choose to. But even if you're doing it on the floor, grab some larger pillows, like the kind that you would see on a bed, and grab a cozy blanket, because we're going to just wrap ourselves up into a little cocoon. That being said, my apartment's quite warm and I don't want the air conditioner going on, so I may ditch my cocoon at certain points, but you want that blanket just to have the option to feel cozy and safe. So with that in mind, once you've gathered your props, take a moment to grab your pillows And 2 is a good number to have, but 1 will do if it's fluffy enough. And we're going to start in a child's pose. So bring your knees a little wider than the pillow. Yawns are signs of energy shifts. That's a good thing. And put the pillow in between your legs out in front of you. And maybe you do 2 pillows, maybe you do 1. I'm going to be mindful of my microphone and not be fully into the pillow. But what you're going to do is lay down into your pillow as if you're in child's pose, only the pillow is going to help support you. And it's up to you if you gaze right or left. At about the halfway point, I will cue for us to shift the gaze. And I think actually what I'll do is maybe take my microphone off for this moment to talk to you and lay down. So we're just starting by finding a little grounding. So close your eyes. Start to let your belly expand into your pillow with your inhales. Let your shoulders relax on your exhales. Start to find some subtle length, like a string's tugging your crown forward and your tailbone back. Allow any yawns that need to happen to happen. Start to slow things down. And as you start to settle in, with those eyes closed, just start to scan through your body. On the top of your head, start to relax your scalp. Trickle down into your forehead. And relax your brow. Soften your jaw. Let your tongue relax. And soften down your throat. Let go of any muscle tension at the front of your throat. And sometimes it helps to imagine you've taken a vow of silence and you know that you don't have to speak for an extended, maybe like a year. Something about just allowing your body to recognize that you're being quiet, let something go. Soften across your collarbone. Relax your shoulders. Soften across your chest. Try to relax the space between each rib. Relax your low back. And relax your hips. See if you can sink a little more into that area. Soften your thighs. Relax your knees. Let go through your calves. Soften your ankles. And let relaxation slip through your feet and out your toes. Two more deep belly breaths as you shift your gaze to the other side. And still gazing that opposite direction to even out your neck. take a moment to take that body scan again and start to treat each body part as if it's a person at a party, a guest at a party that your full physical form is throwing. And as you scan through, mentally ask each body part, maybe even adding in internal organs and individual muscles, how they're doing, if they need anything. Let that inner voice be a gracious party host, making sure that every guest at the party feels comfortable. I'll give you some time to continue to scan through, conversing with these different body parts. And as you start to get a lay of the land, you start to feel like you've checked in with all the guests at your party. And gently start to press yourself up from your child's pose and come to a seat. And as you come to an upright seat, we're going to take it into a little half straddle pose. So send your right leg out long. So I'll be your mirror image. Send your left foot in. And if you have any lift of this knee and you want to slide a smaller pillow or your rolled up blanket underneath there, feel free. But then you can take your large pillow or a stack of your two large pillows and send them out towards that extended leg. And gently rotate your navel to face towards that pillow and scoot the pillow up into your belly so you can fold into it. Again, I'm not going to fold all the way just because of the microphone, but fold your way into it. Maybe you stack your hands for a little pillow to rest your head on. Maybe you gaze to one direction or the other. We won't switch the sides that you're gazing because we're going to take it to the other side. So just if you're gazing away from your leg, remember that. So you can do away from your leg on the other side. You're gazing towards your leg. Make a mental note of that. And as I stay lifted and you relax, anchor down into your left glute. Imagine a little string tugging your right heel a little further. Imagine a string tugging the crown of your head past your toes. Subtle, subtle shifts, just letting those lines lengthen. Imagine your right rib cage being gently pulled up and back as your left rib cage drops down and forward. And then I want you to imagine a gentle presence behind you. Gently just rubbing your back, giving you that reassuring, calming energy that maybe your own mother did, or maybe you wish that she did. But imagine that this is not necessarily your physical earthly mother, though if that makes you feel relaxed and pleasant, feel free. But a lot of times there's some energy there that maybe you don't want to call into the relaxing setting. And so if you want, picture it as an angel, spirit guide, whatever feels comforting to you. Let that be the presence that's currently behind you, tickling your back. And then gently rise back up. And for just a little extra stretch, we're going to move the pillow to the side. Bring your right elbow inside your right thigh and reach your left arm up and over. Doesn't have to be a really far reach. Yeah, sometimes you try to grab the peace fingers around the big toe, but we're just trying to find a little side body opening here. So deep breath in and deep breath out. And then gently come back up and we'll switch out the side. So send your left leg out long, your right foot in. Find your pillow support. And when you're ready, rotate your navel towards that pillow, scoot it up into your abdomen, fold forward. Again, staying upright, but you can find all the way down. Gaze to the opposite direction or the same direction, but opposite side of your neck stretch. If you go take a gaze to one side or the other. Lengthen your left heel out like a little string, just pull it forward. Anchor your right glute down. Find that gentle guidance of your left rib cage up and back and your right rib cage down and forward. Relax your shoulders as you start to feel that gentle presence once more. Just ever so slightly trickling fingers around your back. Encouraging you to relax, creating a calming effect through your nervous system. And then gently rise back up. Move your pillow off to the side, plant your left elbow inside your thigh, reach your right arm up and over. Side body stretch as you relax your shoulders, deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then come back upright. And from your upright position, we're going to take it into a butterfly position. So soles of your feet together, knees out wide. If you want some pillow support underneath your thighs, you can take that. But we're definitely going to take some pillow support out in front of you. And again, nestle it right up into your belly. And when you're ready, fold into it. Maybe it's one pillow, maybe it's multiple pillows. Just like before, you can gaze to one direction or the other. You can find a little pillow with your hands out in front of you. Rest your forehead down. I'm going to stay upright. But as you start to fold into this, come back to being that good, gracious party host. And this time, check in with the hips. Don't just check in with them as a whole, but treat every angle of the hip as if it's a separate guest at that party. They came as a group. So starting at the top of your hips, check in with the right and the left. See if there's anything that you can do to make that area more comfortable. See if you can feel that area relax. Moving to the back of the hips on the right and the left, beside your glutes. How can you make them feel more relaxed? Then underneath the legs, the underside of the hip joint. Maybe that involves a little glute relaxation as well. They're holding hands at the party. They're connected. See if you can make them more comfortable. And then around to the inseam, where we normally think of the hips opening up in this pose. See if there's anything there you can let go, anything you can relieve, those muscles, that area. And then gently come back up. And you're going to take the heels a little bit longer than you just had them. So a little further out. And we're going to ditch the pillow here and just grab for the ankles and take a gentle fold forward. It's okay if you're not as far as I am. I've been dancing since I was 2. A lot of this just comes into my body. So just find what your fold is. But the goal here is we're going to feel a little sensation in the low back. So if you've got a bed here, you can even use that to kind of pull yourself forward. Oh, that feels good. Anchor your hips back. Play around maybe with the distance of the feet. The further out they go, the more you are going to feel it in the low back. So if you're feeling like you're feeling it more in your hips, maybe you just need to send the feet a little further, a little wider diamond. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And inhale, rise up. Hopefully the hips are feeling a little warmer. We're gonna have several options for this next hip opener. So option one, if you're feeling like your hips aren't quite open, extend your right leg long. Actually, here, we'll do extend your left leg long, hook your right ankle on top of your thigh. Do a figure four so that if you were looking at it from the ceiling, you'd have either a backwards or a forward four shape. And then once you've got that, you can hang out there because I'm going to talk about the other options first. So this is option one. Option two is the classic double pigeon. And you're just going to stack ankle on top of knee, knee on top of ankle. Now, because we might be on a bed, if you are on a bed, you might feel like you're sinking back. If you feel like you need to slide that rolled up blanket or folded up blanket underneath you to kind of elevate your hips a little bit more, feel free. But find one of those. And then actually, also, if the figure four is just not working for you and you need another option, you can take supine pigeon. You just won't be able to do what I'm about to cue to. We're trying to open up the hip. And we're also going to give a little extra love to the foot here. So this top foot here is going to get a little reflexology massage. So just a very brief reflexology 101. You're going to take a moment, and if you have lotion nearby to lotion up the foot, awesome, but it's totally fine to just do it to give a little bit of love to the skin around the foot as well. So just kind of start by waking it up. Just start to kind of roll your hand around the foot just to notice how it's feeling. And then we're going to start with the toes, which represent the head. So I like to grip onto the edge of the big toe and slide the fingers up either side. So thumb and forefinger just up either side, kind of lengthening out the toe. And if you feel like you have some like headache stuff or anything like that that goes on in your head, you might give a little extra massage to the bottom of that toe. If there's anything that feels tender, you might pause and hold there for a little bit and just try to breathe into it. And feel free to take this at your own pace, but I'll continue on. So you're going to do that to all of the toes, kind of lengthening through either side, and then doing a little massage of the bottom of the toe. And as we get into the further out toes, the edges of the toes sometimes have like eyes and ears represented in foot reflexology. Again, we're just going to do a brief 101. If you want to really look into it, you can look up charts and stuff. But massaging the edge of the toes, we're getting into things like the eyes and ears, and massaging the actual balma of the toe. Balma of the toe? No, the balma's behind the toe. And massaging the actual like tip of the toe, the base of the toe is getting more into the head, the mind, and the brain. So after you've done that on all toes on that top foot, you're going to start taking both thumbs and sort of grab to either side of the foot. You're just going to spread the skin on the ball end of the foot there, starting right underneath the toes, just kind of massaging in opposite directions. And this is getting into, again, not super specific, but just a little more into like lungs and shoulders area, because again, the toes are kind of the head. The stems of the toes can sometimes be kind of neck, but they're also like eyes and ears and things like that. And then we go a little further down under that ball mount and you get the shoulders and the lungs a little bit. So if you feel anything that feels a little extra tender, a little extra crunchy, take your thumb into that space and just pause and hold. So the beautiful thing about reflexology that I find is that it's not so much about working out what you find, it's about letting it release with a little press, hold, and breathe. So find what feels good there. And when you're ready to move a little further down, underneath that ball mount of the foot, as you start to get into this arch area, is usually about the diaphragm area. So just massage that out a little bit. Maybe even taking some deeper diaphragm breaths, letting the diaphragm drop down into the belly as you take a deep breath in. And deep breath out. And again, I'm just taking the thumbs, center of the foot, sliding them outward. Find a pattern that works for you. That's just what works for me. And as we start to move down into the foot, we're getting more into internal organs here. So without going into everything that's happening in this area of the foot, know that closer to the arch, we're getting into more digestive organs. And closer to the outer edge of the foot, I like to give it a little pinch at the outer edge. That's kind of more hormones and sexual organs. And there's really specific points for everything, but that's the brief uh, gauge. And then the center of the foot does have some other internal organs as well, like your kidney is one of the things towards the center of the foot. The adrenal glands are towards the center of the foot. So as you massage through that arch center area of the foot, you're probably going to find some areas that feel tender. So wherever it is that feels tender, you know that you can always look it up later to try and find out what organ or area of the body that might be. Feel free to hold and press and breathe into any areas that need it. And then take it as a little last effort for this arch of the foot area or center of the foot area. You're going to thumb walk up the arch of the foot, nice and slow. So thumb walk is almost like you're making your thumb into an inchworm. You're just going to press down the tip of the thumb, lift it up, move it just a little bit, press it down again. And you're just going to keep walking up the arch. And again, you're probably going to find some areas that feel more tender. So if you find something that feels tender, pause and breathe. And then this is just another variation of checking in with all the guests at your party, of being a good hostess. So again, it's a maternal energy. We're reparenting ourselves, we're remothering ourselves. And that's kind of what a great party hostess is. Like it's like the mother of the party. So you're just trying to check in with every different area that's now represented in your foot rather than the rest of your body. And just see if anything needs anything. And then finally, as we get into this heel of the foot area, this is a little bit sciatic area. There's a couple other things there, but it's just nice to just give it a little comb out at the bottom. I like to just take the fingers and just comb down. And then you can also kind of do the edge of the heel, because the edge of the heel is also some important balancing, mostly hormonal stuff when we get to the edge of the feet and the heel. And then if you really want to do a little bit extra, you can run your fingers through these. I've got nice bony feet, so I can show you. If you see the bones at the top of your feet, you're basically going to just take your thumbs in between those bones and just run them up the foot. A little tension release. And then I like to finally do a little pinch of the heel and massage. Again, this is kind of sexual organs, hormone stuff. And then if you want, you can even massage up the calf a little bit. But that is our foot massage. And hopefully this foot is feeling nice and refreshed. And then we're going to take it into a forward fold while we're here. So pillow out in front of you. Fold yourself into it. And try to keep the microphone up. And you can rest your forehead down if you want. Melting that right hip a little bit heavier. Letting the knee grow heavier. Closing your eyes if they're not already there, and let your belly move. And again, do a little scan around that right hip. See if there's anything that you need to check in with. Any drinks that need to be given to guests. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And then gently rise back up. We're going to switch all that out. So move the pillow to the side. Switch out the leg that's on top. Again, maybe you're doing the figure four. Maybe you're doing the double pigeon. If you're in supine pigeon, just enjoy that. Switch out to the other side. And we're going to do that little foot massage again. So starting with the toes, the head. Give the little sides a little massage and lengthen the toe out. Maybe massage the bottom of the toe. And do that on each one. Just noticing if there's anything that feels tender and giving that a little extra love. Might even get a nice little toe pop in some cases. And then when that feels ready, again, take your time. You're going to take the thumbs, starting at the top of that ball mount, start to massage out. Get into that lung and shoulder area, looking for any places of tenderness. We didn't do a little mobility check, but yeah, so just do what feels good if you need to warm the foot up first. And then when you're ready, take it beneath that ball mount, diaphragm area. Whew. Start to move down into the middle portion of the foot, just spreading things out, knowing that you're dealing with internal organs, digestive at the arch, sexual organs at the outer edge. Maybe give that outer edge a little pinch if that area needs a little extra enlivening. Massaging anything that feels like it needs a little extra love. And then you're going to take the thumb to do that thumb walk, that little inchworm up the inside arch, pressing, holding if you need to, walking it a little bit more. Notice if there's anything that feels different than the other side. That's okay. Relax your shoulders if you notice they tensed up. Relax your jaw if you notice that that tensed up. Right foot's always the one that needs a little extra love. I know you guys are on the left foot now, but okay. And then once you feel like the center of the foot feels good, again, just a little finger comb at the heel, maybe a little spin around the bottom of the heel, and then take it between those. I think they're metatarsals is the long bones behind your toes. I could be wrong about that. I'm not the best at anatomy terms anymore. And then maybe do a little pinch of the ankle. If you want to run it up the calf, feel free. And then take it back into your double pigeon. Find your pillow. Fold into it. Again, I'm only staying upright because I have to. Do a little scan around your left hip. See if there's anything that area needs. Let your belly move. Let your shoulders relax. And then gently rise back up. And take it into a Sukhasana easy pose. So just one ankle in front of the other one. We're going to do some neck stretches while we're here. Send your right hand out to the side, left hand up and over the top edge of your ear. Drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Keep reaching through that opposite arm. Tuck your chin slightly back. Allow your ear to go heavy. I'm stretching not only the neck, but a little bit of that upper trap area here, where you might, goodness, yawns. You might have a tendency to kind of carry the weight of the world here. So just let some of that go. And then inhale, bring your head back through center. Crawl your left fingertips out. Right hand up and over. Tilt your ear over. Tuck your chin back. Relax your shoulders. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then inhale, come back through center with the head. If you want, just for balance, switch out the ankle that's in front, just so it feels like those legs, hips have gotten an equal share. Interlace your fingers behind your head. Tuck your chin down towards your chest. Apologies if this gets real close to the mic. Hug your elbows in towards your temples. And press your hands down into your head as you press your head up into your palms. Ooh. Enjoy the stretch of the base of your skull and the back of your neck. If you want more slowly, rock your chin. And then as your chin comes back through center, lift up through your head, open up through your elbows slightly, and imagine little strings connecting your elbows to the ceiling to pull them up. And as your hands pull up into your head, just let your head relax into your hands. And then gently come back up. Whew, shake it off if you need to. All right, so now we're going to take it into some arm stretches. So let's do your right arm underneath first. Eagle arms. So eagle arms, if that means that you're doing this for the bear hug, or this, or this, find your version of eagle arms. Lift your elbows up in line with your shoulders. Reach your elbows forward and relax your shoulders down. Ooh. Then from here, inhale, mini back bend. Lift your forearms. Raise your elbows still in line with your shoulders as you lift up. Exhale, round through your spine. Elbows still in line with your shoulders as you just round the entire chest down and keep lengthening your elbows away from you. And then inhale, come back through center. And then start to press your right palm into your left hand a little bit more so that the arms tilt over towards the left. Keep the elbows up in line with your shoulders and reaching forward, and then tilt your right ear over towards your right shoulder. And then inhale, bring it back through center. Switch it out. So shake it out first. Take it to the other side. Whatever arm wasn't underneath, put it underneath now. Elbows up, reach them away from your body. Inhale, mini back bend with the eagle arms. Elbows stay in line with the shoulders as you lift the whole chest up. Exhale, round through the spine. Elbows stay in line with the shoulders as you round the entire spine down. Elbows still reaching away from you. Feel the opening behind your heart. And then inhale, come back up. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Press your left hand more into your right palm so it tilts over to the side. And then drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. And then bring everything up. Shake it off. Okay, so now that we've done some stretching, we are going to do a little bit of inner child meditation, self-care. So option to use your blanket. Again, I mentioned it's very warm in my apartment. I'm going to ditch the blanket. But if you want to physically wrap yourself up into a little blanket burrito, maybe you give yourself a little Obi-Wan Kenobi hood. Maybe you just wrap it around your shoulders, but give yourself a safe little cocoon if that calls to you. And then you might even find a way to prop yourself up. So if you've got a wall or a headboard behind you on the bed, it's a good time to kind of scoot back and maybe build up your pillows to give you a little backing, just so that you can really relax into this cocoon wrap that you've given yourself. Or if you've chosen not to wrap, that's okay. We're going to do it visually in our mind. Sit however feels comfortable. I'm just going to extend my legs here and sit back into the pillows. But take a moment to take your take your right palm into a little fist and just cradle it into your left. So we're taking that masculine energy that we so often try to kind of activate in life, and we're bringing it into the protection of the feminine energy, which is kind of opposite of what we intuitively think is going to happen. We want usually the masculine as a container for the feminine. But for right now, we're going to re-mother ourselves. We're going to take that active masculine energy that feels like it has to do everything ourselves, and we're just going to give it a little cradle of the feminine, the divine mother, and then just let that rest in your lap. You can choose to overlap the thumbs. You can choose to place them together. You can let them rest comfortably. Just find what feels good. The important thing is you just find a way for that right fist to rest comfortably into your left hand, feeling protected and supported. And as you settle in here, whether or not you're physically wrapped in a blanket, I want you to imagine that you're being cocooned in a loving, comforting, maternal energy. As if an angel just came up behind you and wrapped you in its wings. You might find that things come up for you when you have that visualization, because angel energy can feel super powerfully healing, and sometimes it brings up emotions that we didn't know that we were ready for. Sometimes it brings up physical sensations. Let yourself sink into it. And then as you start to feel a little more protected and safe, I want you to think of a time in your childhood that you could have used a little more of this protective, safe feeling. No judgments about what was happening or who was involved. Just think of the time that you would have liked to have been wrapped in the wings of an angel. And whatever age you are at the time that's in your mind now, I want to picture yourself at that age in front of you in your mind's eye. And just notice, just observe what that version of you looks like, what their energy feels like, how they are standing in front of you. Take it in. And then I want you to invite that child version of yourself in your mind over for a hug. And as you're still wrapped in this angel wing energy, I want you to open your arms to this version of you and invite them in. It could be that they run over right away and allow you to embrace them. It could be that they're more hesitant. So just be patient. There's no need to try to coerce this version of you to come in for the hug. They will come when they're ready. Your only job is to sit still enjoying this healing angel energy that's enveloping you and holding space for this child version of yourself. And when the time is right, they will come in for the same healing. Maybe it happens this meditation. Maybe you try this meditation later, but just hold that space, radiating love towards this child version of yourself. And if they do come in for the embrace them fully. Still wrapped in angel wings behind you, with your childhood version of yourself wrapped in your arms in front of you. And if it helps, you can even physically embrace yourself as you visualize embracing this child version of yourself. Recognize that they're one and the same. The physical being that you're currently embracing and this child visualization that you're holding on to. Feel what comes up. Physically, emotionally, let it come up for both of you. If there's anything you want to tell this childhood version of yourself, you can whisper it in their ear. And then when you feel ready, like this visualization is complete, it's served you, it's healed something. I want you to feel yourself absorb this childhood version of yourself back into your heart. Invite them home, still wrapped in the angel wings behind you. You're both safe. You're both loved. You're both whole. You're welcome to sit with this meditation. Maybe even scoot yourself forward and lie down to absorb anything else that you want from this beautiful moment, this beautiful practice where you've come to not only reparent and heal and welcome and appreciate your physical body, but to find a little bit of that for your past self and your current self at the same time. I will leave you here wherever it is that you found the most comfort. I do recommend that after this practice, after this visualization, you find some way to cleanse your energy because it is a very volatile time in the energetic world. So that could be taking a hot bath, a shower, doing a smoke cleanse, or just turning on some beautiful music and letting it wash over you. But let that be the end of your practice to really wash away in whatever way that serves you anything that doesn't feel this peaceful wholeness. Take care of yourself, drink plenty of water, and have a lovely rest of your day.